What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today, you guys, with we back for a brand new season of Rated to Love, you guys. So, what we're gonna do this season is we're gonna do my pre-recorded videos, and then we're gonna come over here and talk live and talk our stuff to each other in live chat, you guys. So, before we do get into this, if you guys are watching me live or in a playback, do me a solid favor. Be sure to like this live, subscribe to my channel, turn on your post notifications, you guys, and also share the video. And you guys, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about Ready to Love. We are back, you guys. I'm actually really excited that we're back with Ready to Love. Not quite sure how I feel about us being in Dallas, but hey, I'm here for that as well. This is a disclaimer right out the bat to the Dallas cast. So let me be the first to say anything that you see in my comments, not in my comments, but anything you hear me say or see me say, let's not take it too seriously. I'm only going off of what I see on this TV show. So don't get in your feelings because JB don't care. What's up, Shayna? How you doing today? Man. But yeah, you guys, I'm really, really happy that Rated to Love is back. This is actually a show that I truly enjoy, despite the fact that sometimes I think that the cast can do a bit much. Other than that, I am here for it. So, like I said, this season so we got 2 seasons in Dallas, and I'm here for it. Like I said, the cast be chill, be cool, and we'll get along. But so last night I did not get the live tweet this whole episode because I actually went out to the movies and I saw the new movie Joyride. Really funny. But yeah, so we are here today for just to discuss just to discuss the cast and what we think about the episode. And let's go ahead and get into it. So there are 8 singles. Well, there are 8 women, eight, or is it 9 men? 9 men, 9 women, something like that. I think it's 18 people total. And you know how Ready to Love is. And if you guys can hear if you guys can hear in the background, there is a pool party downstairs, and my apartment literally faces the pool. So, yeah, try to ignore that. But what was I saying? So yeah, let's talk about the cast, you guys. And I have everybody's pictures. Um, this is I will say for this cast, this is a good looking cast photo, and the cast photos this season really do look good as opposed to previous seasons. But let's go down the line of the cast, and we'll talk about them individually and talk about what I think about them. So we're going to start up with the first guy that we had. So the first guy that we got was Chris. And I am about to put Chris's picture on the screen. So give me just a second to find Mr. Chris. So this is Chris. So Chris is 39 years old and he is a construction developer. Now he's the one that also mentioned that he has some Nigerian in his bloodline. And Chris isn't a bad looking guy. I don't understand what this outfit is, so to speak, but I'm okay with it. But let me know what you guys think about Chris. Do I think Chris is gonna make it to the end? Honestly, I kind of don't. But that's Chris, and then we're gonna go to the next guy who is Philip. Where the hell is Philip? Who is Philip? So this is Philip. Or is this Philip? I think that's Philip, right? No, Philip is right here. Philip, it says he's 41 years old. Now I'm sorry, nothing about Philip screams 41 years old. That man look like he way older than 41 years old. If I looked at Philip, and Philip is a supply, what is Philip's profession? Philip is a supply chain analyst. I'm sorry, but Philip just does not scream. Nothing about him says I'm 41. He giving me a good 50 he's giving me a good 50. And it's not because of his beard, it's just how he looks. That man don't look anywhere near 50. I mean 40. So next up is Habibi. I got a lot of things to say about Habibi. The first thing I want to say about Habibi is, what is your governmental name? Because I don't think your mama named you Habibi. Everything about Habibi is screaming cultural appropriation. That is all I get from Habibi, is that he is culturally appropriating the culture for people in Dubai, because this turban it's a no for me, sir. Like, what the entire FUCK? Because I'm not going to say it out loud, but it's just given no, sir. Return to sender. Oh, great. YouTube has already demonetized me, and I didn't even said nothing. It's live. YouTube, what is up with y'all in my lives? Like, y'all love to demonetize them for no apparent reason. I ain't said jack diddly ish. But yeah, Habibi, that's not your name. Habibi is 33 years old and he's a saxophonist. And let's move over to the next person, which is Herbert. Who is Herbert? This is Herbert. Oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry, Herbert. I don't mean to be rude but you really got the wandering eyes. Like that one eye is looking one direction and that other eye is looking straight. Huh. Herbert is an aviation manager. And okay, let's go see what the chat say. Philip, death 58 minimum. Yeah, Philip is not nowhere near 41. I think we be lying about these ages. I'm really still thinking we lying about these ages. Next up is Marvin. Marvin is right here. Marvin is an erotic author. Okay. Why don't Marvin have on a t-shirt up under this shirt? I'm gonna let that one slide too. Maybe it was hot that day that they filmed. So next up after Marvin, we have Quentin. And who is yeah, you guys, it's gonna take me a minute to get to know these people because I don't know who is who just yet. This is Quentin. Quentin is a personal trainer. Now, from what I know about personal training, I know a few personal trainers here in Dallas. He's not one of them that I know, but I feel like I definitely have saw him around. I just don't know where I saw him at, but I definitely saw Quentin before. Um, the personal trainers that I know are complete big flirts with their clients, especially the personal trainers. They are huge flirts with the women. So that's all I'm getting from Mr. Quentin. Next up is Red. This is Red. Red is 42 years old. A lot don't care who tell it. A lot don't care who tell it. Somebody said that Red says he's 42. Okay, Red. That must be your stage age because you don't look 42 either. But Red is a DJ and a comedian, and I also feel like I saw Red as well. I just some of these people, some of the people that I'm looking at this season, I feel like I've saw some of them. And let me tell you guys, so Dallas is very small. So what you think about Dallas is the city of Dallas is small. It's big because it has little subsections of Dallas, like where I live at. You got Plano, Frisco, Allen, McKinney, Deep. Well, that's you got McKinney. You got Farmers Branch. So you got different places. So Dallas is not as big as people would think it is. Yeah, this is Red, and I don't really know. I got my good eye on Red. We're gonna talk about Red in just a little bit. So who's the next guy that's up after Red? Brandon. I'm trying to remember who was Brandon. So yeah, you guys bear with me because I don't remember these people like that. And who was Brandon? Brandon is oh. Do I not have Brandon's picture in here? I don't. Brandon is the only guy that I'm look like I'm missing. But Brandon is a train dispatcher. Let me see if I have his picture on my phone. Brandon. I'm hoping that Brandon goes home next week. No shade, but Brandon just ain't it. Yes, I am missing Brandon's picture. Oh, I hate when that happens. So next, I'm gonna look up Brandon and see if I can find him and come back to it. This is Mario, or however I don't know how you pronounce this man's name. So no offense if I mispronounce your name wrong, but Mario. And I feel like this is another person that I feel like I've saw around Dallas. And yeah, so give me a second, you guys. Let me see if I can find Brandon. Brandon is somebody that like I said, I hope Brandon goes home next week because Brandon is not here for love, in my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think about Brandon down in the live chat and in the comment section below. But yeah, I don't think Brandon came to this show for anybody's love because you can't make me believe that. There's nothing you can say that can make me believe that Brandon is on Ready to Love looking for love. Because a lie don't care who tell it. Okay, let's see if we can find Jesus. I am so give me so I can't find Brandon, you guys. But actually, let's go to the cast photo because I actually have the cast photo. So go back to the cast photo and we will show you guys who Brandon is. So Brandon is so you see where Tommy is. So go all the way back by the door. You see Mario is right there by the door, and Brandon is on my right in the blue shirt. Brandon is a red flag for me. Let me know what you guys think about Brandon down in the live chat and in the comment section. So let's move over to the ladies. And I think I got all the ladies' pictures. So the first lady we got is Jessica. And I know who Jessica is because when I looked at Jessica, Jessica kind of puts you in the mind of Vivica A. Fox before Vivica had all the work done to Vivica's face. And only thing about Jessica that I noticed is I'm like, girl, you got a lot of hair in your head. So we're gonna call her Jessica in her hair. So Jessica is 37 years old. She's a coffee line owner. And then next up we have Aries. This is Aries. Aries is very beautiful. Aries is 41 years old. She's a software manager and I think she has two sons. Oh, next up is the one that's gonna cause all the problems. Tequila. Tequila is 35 years old and she's a marketing analyst. Then we got Leanne. Leanne, oh my God. Leanne has a strong face. Leanne's makeup is terrible. Leanne and this wig the wig is lopsided first and foremost with that. The wig is lopsided. I don't think she knew that. And then it's this sparkly bedazzled jumpsuit. Ma'am, where were you going? But Leanne is 49 years old and she's a gym owner. You can tell she works out. She has a great body. And then after Leanne, we have Sierra. Sierra, stop lying to us. Your name is Akbar V. Because when I look at you, that's the only thing I see is Akbar V in the face. Let me know if you guys see that as well. But that is Akbar V. Akbar V just done changed her name and said, "Let me go to Ready to Love, so I can find a man for my umpteen kids." Right. So next up is Unique. Where's Unique at? Unique is the TV producer, right? Yeah, Unique is a TV and film producer. I believe this is Unique. I think this is Unique. I could be wrong. And then after the Unique, I have Janelle. Do I have Janelle's picture? Damn it, I don't have Janelle either. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the cast photo. So Janelle is the one that's in the blue dress. She looks kind of like Shawnee O'Neal to me. And then after Janelle, we have Kira. Kira is the one that got them god dang on Dallas Cowboy boots on her feet. And I don't even know what this outfit is. Is it a dress or is it what is that? What is that outfit? And then the last lady we have is Lee. And this is Lee. And Lee is oh, I forgot to tell you that Kira is a realtor and also Janelle is a creative director and Lee is a health and wellness coach. So that is the cast of Ready to Love, minus two pictures that I didn't have, but y'all fine. So we're gonna go back to the cast. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about the cast. Do you guys see anybody that stands out to you guys? Do you see anybody that is like a hell no to y'all? I'll tell you guys who my hell no's are for the men and for the women. So my hell no's for the men is going to be Brandon, Habibi, which again I just don't Habibi. What is your governmental name? Because I don't feel like your mama named you Habibi at all. So Habibi for the men is a no for me. Brandon is a no for me. And let's see, do I have any more no's when it comes to the men? I don't think so. Not right now. I don't think I have any more no's for the men. Now for the women, it's not very many no's for the women. I think the only person that I well actually scratch it. It was two women. One of them went home. Leanne. Leanne was a no for me when it came to the women. And also, who else was a no for me is um Tequila. Tequila. What is I'm gonna get her name wrong every week. I think it's Tequila. Tequila is a little bit of a no for me, and I'm gonna tell you guys why I say Tequila is a no for me. It was how she came off in this episode, and it was also the fact of in their trailer, it looked like she trying to get buck with all the ladies, and I don't know why, but it is what it is. So, like I said, we are here in Dallas this season, and nephew Tommy, he came out and did his nephew Tommy thing. Y'all know Tommy, he loved the round of applause, so you got to give Tommy a round of applause. So basically, Tommy told the singles that with this process, you got to have an open heart and an open mind, and not an open wallet and open draws. I was like, now Tommy, you know these people gonna have open legs pretty soon. I mean, we gonna, and that be one of the biggest issues for me when it comes to Rated to Love, is the fact that there's always so much stuff that happens behind the scenes that we don't see on the show, and it comes off very disjointed, and then we find out everything at the reunion. So that's always kind of bothersome for me. And then something else that's really bothersome for me is like I said, we get to the couples, the retreat that they go on. And by that point, when we get to the retreat, everybody has had issues with each other, and we be like, well, what the hell happened in between that we don't see? So that's one of the issues that I have. That's one of my major issues with Rated to Love. But you guys can tell me what you guys think in the comments. And I know a lot of people have been talking about this situation with Rashid and Simone. You guys know I don't really know them like that, so I have no personal opinions on Rashid or Simone. Um, it is what it is. Let me know if you guys have been keeping up with that stuff, and let me know what has happened. Because again, I don't know those two, so I have no thoughts or opinions either way it goes when it comes to them. So you guys know how Rated to Love is. Every season, two people are going to go home. And it's the fact that these people were acting so shocked and surprised that two people were going home. Now I was like, now y'all watched the last two seasons of Miami, because they filmed this season just before Miami, this last season of Miami wrapped up. So y'all watched the first season of Miami, y'all watched the two seasons of DC and Potomac, and y'all saw each season two people went home or one person went home. So I don't know why y'all are being so shocked about this situation, but hey, it is what it is, right? They were pretending to be shocked. I do. What I will say is I like the fact that now is instead of it being two men go home or two women go home, it's one man and it's one woman that goes home, right? So I want to talk about Tequila real quick, you guys, because she was talking about how, you know, did she say that men want a woman that has some drama or something like that? I was like, no, ma'am, no man wants a woman with a lot of drama. They would prefer not to have that. And then when she was talking later in the episode to Habibi, when Habibi asked her with her ex boyfriend if she would have cheated on her ex boyfriend with him, and she said yes. I was like, girl, what? Okay, I mean, if not something I would necessarily say, but go off, right? So, other ladies, the one lady that I will say really stands out to me is Janelle. And it's not because of her dress, it's because we have similar stories, because she was talking about the fact that she wants to adopt kids. Now it's interesting because for a very long time with me, I always said that I never wanted to adopt children because I have been through that, and going through my adoption, I didn't have, I lashed out and I was angry quite a lot. But then at one point I had got to the point where I said, you know what? I would like to adopt kids because I want to give to a child what my mom gave to me. So my thoughts and opinions have definitely changed on adoption over the years, and I like that. Now, where our stories differ is the fact that she says that she was adopted at 6 months old. For me, I was adopted officially when I was 14 years old, because that's when my mom had to tell me. so that way, I could give consent to be adopted. And yeah, so I will say Janelle is one of the ladies that's really high on my list of ladies that I like right now. Now we know how Ready to Love is. These things typically change throughout the season. Like these things typically change throughout the season. Shannon says, I like that too. All kids need a home. Absolutely. And that's what really changed my mind. I was like, why not give what my mom gave to me to another child? And I was like, cool. The only thing is for me, I don't know what her situation is. I was raised within my family, so I don't know how to handle that with a kid who doesn't, who might not never know their family. But hey, we're here for it. So, Brandon, what we can't take away from Brandon is that Brandon is a handsome guy, right? We can't take that away from him. He's very handsome, but Brandon would be a no for me with the way that he leads his conversations, because Brandon leads his conversations with he has 4 kids, right? Nothing's wrong with having 4 kids. Nothing's wrong with that. Where Brandon loses people at, and especially he lost me at, is when Brandon said that he is recently divorced 6 months ago. I was like, so how are you ready to love if you just divorced your ex-wife 6 months ago? So then he said he was married to the same woman twice. Now, there are two different ways that you could look at that, right? You can look at it and be like, oh, okay, you guys probably got married young, and you guys probably realized you probably were too young to be married, and you got a divorce, right? But then you guys found your way back to each other. But then you have to ask the question of what the hell happened in between? Like, what happened now? Y'all are a little bit older than y'all were when y'all got married the first time. So what the hell happened the second time? Honestly, you guys, I feel like somebody cheated. You can't tell me differently. I think that somebody cheated in that relationship, and my money is on Mr. Brandon. Hold on, you guys. My best friend texting me, and then that music is still like so loud, and they were supposed to be done at 5 o'clock. Like what the hell? But so yeah, you guys, my bad. So yeah, I think when it comes to Brandon, it just gives me that somebody may have cheated in their relationship, and I honestly feel like it might have been him. But definitely tell me what you guys think in the comment section below if you think that, or if you think if I'm on the right wavelength, or what y'all think. God dog it, they demonetized it again. Just keep the video at this point. I don't know if it's let me know in the live chat. Can y'all hear the music in the background? Like, I don't know if you guys can hear it. And I think that might be what the issue is, that is carrying over into my apartment and it's fucking with my damn live. Oh God, why did I? It is what it is. If it is gonna be demonetized because of that, then it is what it is, and I ain't really tripping about it. But so Habibi, like I said earlier about Habibi, Habibi told the ladies that he at one point, okay, you can't hear anything. So well, YouTube keeps messing with my monetization, so they keep turning it on and off, but it is what it is. I ain't really tripping. So Habibi, again, I really want to know what Habibi's government name is, because I doubt his mama named him Habibi. Did she name you Harold? What did she name you? Because I just don't believe that your mama named you Habibi. And when I look at Habibi, the only thing that I see with Habibi is that this man is culturally appropriating from the Arab community, because him and his turban is just like, oh my God, dude, you grew up in Arlington, you are from the ag town. So I really want you to take off this get up, because it really does give that you're wearing this as a costume, that you're doing this as cosplay. Like that's literally what it's giving to me. But I want you guys to tell me what you think in the comment section below and the live chat. So Habibi has a son, and I think he said, did he say his son was 7 or did he say his son was 11? I couldn't quite tell, but I know one thing he did say, that the woman, he only knew the woman for 11 days before he got her pregnant. And I was like, okay, that's a little interesting. How old were you when you did this? And did nobody teach you about a condom? Did nobody tell you how to use a condom because you literally had sex with a woman that you knew 11 days and you stuck with her for you were stuck with her for 18 years. That is crazy to me. What also is very crazy to me is Tequila. When Tequila was talking to, I believe she was talking to either Herbert or Philip, but I believe it was Philip she was talking to, and she was asking him questions about sex. And I'm sitting here just thinking to myself, like, why are you asking about questions about sex? This is your first time meeting this man. Why not ask him, what's your name? What's your name? What's your sign? Stuff like that. What you do for a living? Do you have kids? Have you been out the country? What kind of car you drive? You're asking him sexual questions like, where's the most risky place he's had sex and all that kind of stuff. That is not something that I want to ask on a first meetup with anybody. I don't want to have a sexual conversation with a stranger. You might as well just tell him to pull his thing. You might as well just say, just drop your drawers and let me see what that dick, what you got between your legs, like, because that's really what it gave to me with Tequila. And then when he answered her questions, she seemed like she was weirded out by his questions. I was like, but ma'am, you asked him a sexual question. He responded back to your sexual question with a sexual question, with a sexual answer. Then you become a little prudish. And I was like, girl, you're doing the most. You're doing the most. So, Leanne. So, for you to call someone vertically challenged, I'm going to put your picture back on my computer real quick. For you to call anybody vertically challenged is a far stretch, ma'am, because like I said earlier, your makeup, it's not, it doesn't really match your skin tone 100% because up under your eyes, you're very, very light. And then your wig is flat on one side and humped on the other side. Then this jumpsuit, it doesn't, it's not flattering. So for you to call Moria vertically challenged, I highly implore you to just take a good long look in the mirror at yourself before you make any kind of negative, disparaging comments about anybody. Always look internally before we do these things, right? And now I know I talk about people's looks sometimes on here. I joke. I be kidding. I don't really mean half of the things that I say unless it's somebody that I just don't see it for, right? And even with myself, I can talk about my own imperfections. Like people have tried to say, "Well, you got big ears, babe." I know I have big ears. I've had big ears for as long as I've been alive. I've always known my ears look like Dumbo ears, and I've heard those jokes numerous times. So you saying I have Dumbo ears doesn't affect me. Mia from the Real Housewives of Potomac. Um, so Mario was actually talking about the fact that his father had passed away, and Ms. Leanne couldn't be the least bit bothered by the fact that that man said that his dad had died. And I was like, ma'am, can you show a little bit of compassion, a little bit of empathy? Say, you know what? I'm so sorry about that. My deepest condolences to you. The only thing you could talk about was the fact that you had put your dogs to sleep. I was like, ma'am, that ain't got nothing to do with this situation. But I was like, you know what? Maybe she just don't know what empathy is, and I'm gonna let her have that. Maybe she doesn't have an empathetic bone in her body, and if she don't, it is what it is, right? So at one point we saw that Janelle and Herbert, is that man's name? Yeah, Janelle and Herbert. Herbert, is that the one with the eyes? Yep, that's Herbert. So yeah, Janelle and Herbert, they were hitting it off with each other, right? And I will say, Herbert seems like a nice guy, but like I said, we gonna see how this season plays out and what these people actually give, because the first episode, for me, I would say it didn't really give a whole lot. But the season we're gonna find out more and more about these people as the season goes on, and I'm pretty sure my thoughts and opinions on these people are gonna definitely change. One thing I will say, like I said in my video, if you guys watched it earlier, is Brandon. I want to go back to Brandon real quick. Brandon is someone who gives me Brandon gives me Blake from last season. Let me know if you guys see that, not looks wise, but as far as how he is on the show. I feel like I thought that they were going to keep Leanne for the ratings, but I think it might be either I feel like it's gonna be Brandon, but you guys can let me know what you think in the comments. So Tommy went around to the guys and asked all the guys, like who are we feeling, or who are we not feeling? So you guys know in the first episode, I don't really care about that whole situation of who I'm having a connection with and who I'm not having a connection with, because it's only the first day and you guys have only been around each other for just a couple of hours, some hours, so you guys don't really 100% know each other. And so I will say right now, I don't really care who the guys are saying are in their, who they're connecting with. Because it's clearly going to change as the season goes on. I'm pretty positive these who they're connected with in episode 1 will be different by episode 3. I guarantee you that it'll be different by episode 3. And Shayna says, I think Brandon is staying. I do too. I definitely believe Brandon is staying over Habibi, but we'll see. We will see, because I can see both. I can honestly see both of them going, and I would honestly be happy if both of them go. Because for me, with Brandon, like I said, Brandon is a red flag for me because of the fact that you just got divorced 6 months ago, and now you're quote unquote looking for love. And then Habibi, like I said, this man is just—he's giving me a sideshow act, because nothing about him just gives that he is sincere. I want to point out something that that Sierra said about when he told her he's a saxophonist. This woman said she don't know what she don't even know what a saxophone is. I was like, ma'am, that is a basic woodwind instrument. I played the saxophone when I was in high school. I played the alto saxophone. Girl, that is the most basic of instruments. If you ever watched The Simpsons, Lisa Simpson plays the tenor sax. Like, girl, it's a very basic. It's a common instrument. So I don't know how you don't know what a saxophone is, but okay, ma'am. So the Tommy, like I said, Tommy was talking to the men. He was asking them who they were feeling, who they were not feeling. So ultimately, in the bottom two for the men, it was Leanne, which I'll show Leanne's picture more than once, but I'll show it to you guys again. So it was Leanne. This is Leanne, and it was Tequila, Tequila. I think her name is Tequila. I believe her name is Tequila. Like, if I'm saying her name, I think that's what her name is. But somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I think her name is Tequila. But that's how it's spelled. Taquilla. I believe her name is Tequila. So it ended up coming down between Tequila and Leanne. I was actually surprised that the men sent Leanne home. I thought Leanne was gonna stay around because Leanne was giving me Charisse from last. No, Charisse wasn't on last season, was she? Which season was Charisse on? Charisse was on the season with Kayla, them, right? Yeah, she was she was giving me Charisse was nope. I keep saying this backwards. Leanne was giving me Charisse vibes from the first season of Miami, and I thought they were gonna keep her around, but they said nope, peace out. So after that, we see them mixing and mingling once again, right? And this here's my thing. Like I said, I was watching someone else's video today, and they said something that I caught, and I kind of thought about it. The women were doing a whole lot of asking of questions of the men, but that's typical of Ready to Love. We always see the women pursue the men, and the men not end up pursuing the women, and I always hate that. I'd be like really? So, um, I've already talked about the fact that Tequila asked her, was talking to Habibi, and he asked would she cheat on her ex with him. I thought that was an interesting question, and I really thought that was interesting. Like, how did you formulate that question in your brain to ask her that? Like, it was very very weird to me. Um, I've already talked about the fact that we saw Janelle and what's his name? Janelle and what's old boy's name again? Janelle and is it Brandon? No, Brent Herbert. We saw them hit it off. We did see in this episode as Lee and Jesus, I got to get these names together. It's gonna take me a minute, you guys, to get these names together. But we saw that Lee and Quentin, they kind of had a little connection with each other. And I'm wondering if Lee and Quentin's connection is mostly because they're both personal trainers and they understand that lifestyle. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. We also saw that old girl from the TV producer, Unique. She was having a conversation with Red, and she called his job a thought job, and she's talking about red is a red flag. I'm like, ma'am, how is red a red flag? And Brand, you're not saying nothing about. Nobody has mentioned anything about Brandon, but I will say with Brandon, like every time he sat down with a woman, every single time in this episode that Brandon sat down with any of the women, he brought up the fact that he has been divorced for 6 months. I'm like, is that supposed to be a panty dropper or something? Because if it is, it ain't giving what you think it's supposed to. It ain't giving what you thought it was gonna give. Because I'm just like, okay, why do we keep bringing up that we're divorced? And only 6 months into the divorce, it was one of the ladies said the ink on it is not even dry, and I was like, exactly, the ink on your divorce is not dry. So why are you here at this point, sir? It's giving that you only came on this show for some publicity because he's the one that is the he's a train dispatcher. He said he does something else in his part. He said he does something else. I was like, you just come on here for your 15 minutes of fame. If that's what it is, go on ahead and set yourself off, right? So we got the ladies. So they sat down with Tommy, and the ladies were telling Tommy who they're feeling, who they're not feeling, and much like with the men, we know that it's going to change. The only person who I don't think she's going to change on her opinion because the men don't I don't think necessarily 100% like her like that is Tequila. Speaking of Tequila, real quick. So when Tequila was in the bottom and she got saved, she had a she started crying, and we get this every season. We see the first girl that's in the bottom two and that's saved, she always ends up crying, right? So we got that note, we got that with Tequila. I will say one thing, I do like Mario or whatever, Mario. Somebody gonna have to correct me on the pronunciation of his name. But I will say I like the fact that he went over there and had a conversation with her, and it was a very positive conversation and an uplifting conversation. So at one point, it was, I believe, it was Janelle, Tequila, and it's the girl. I think it is Unique. So they were sitting with Tommy, and they were telling who they liked to Tommy, and Tequila is gonna be a problem because she was ready to fight. She was already ready to fight for the one guy that she said she liked. I was like, ma'am, it ain't that deep. There are other men here. Go and talk to them. But for me personally, I think what Tequila did, where she did herself a disservice, was when she was asking the questions of about sex. I think that's where Tequila did herself a disservice, much like with Leanne. Leanne did herself a disservice by asking these men their astrological signs. Now, if you guys know me, you guys know that I'm not someone who's big into astrology. I really don't 100% believe in the signs because there are so many. Because I'm a Cancer, you guys know my birthday is in 2 weeks, and I'm someone who doesn't believe in astrology like that. There, I do have some characteristics from a Cancer, but for the most part, my characteristics more align with a Capricorn, and the characteristics of me mostly align with a Capricorn and a little bit of a Gemini and a little bit of a Leo. So I don't believe. I think we can all have personalities from each sign. I don't know. I don't even want to get into no conversation about the signs, but yeah. So in the bottom two for the women, it ended up for the women's bottom two ended up being Brandon, and it ended up being Habibi. So we left on a cliffhanger episode. So we'll find out next Friday who is the guy that'll be sent home. And honestly, like I said, I think that it's a toss up because honestly, I would have put both of them in my bottom two. Because like I said, Brandon is a red flag because I just don't think that he's ready to love because you just got divorced 6 months ago. So have you even had time to really heal from that relationship? And Habibi, like I said, Habibi is just I was about to say a cross dresser. Habibi is a culture appropriating, and I just feel like this is cosplay. But yeah, you guys, that's episode one of Ready to Love. We're here in Dallas. So Shayna says Cancer Gang, even though I'm on a Gemini cusp. Yeah, you are because you're June, right? You're a June Cancer, right? I think that's what you told me. I actually remember when you posted about your birthday. But yeah, I think you're a June Gemini. You're a June Cancer, and I'm a damn July Cancer. But yeah, you guys, that is episode one. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the live chat and in the comment section below. And that's all I got. Yep, June 24th. I thought I remembered that. So yeah, you guys, that was it for episode one. Overall, it was alright. It wasn't bad. Um, we're gonna see how Dallas plays out. And as I said before, ready to love Dallas cast. Anything that I say on my channel or on Twitter, don't take it too seriously. And I'm pretty sure y'all can, if y'all want to, if y'all feel some type of way about the things I say, feel free to jump in my DMs on Twitter and Instagram because plenty of people have done it before from different Rate of the Love cast. But that is it, you guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I will see you guys again tomorrow for another live of Love and Marriage Detroit. And then I got to do the episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I am so ready for that show to go off the air. But I will see you guys later. Bye. Have a good afternoon, you guys.